Welcome everyone, this is Zozo Stockwatch, and let's get ready for the week ahead, October 16th through October 20th. So the markets maintain their highs during the week, but there are a few chinks in the armor that we're going to have to take a look at also. As you can see, the SPY moving up on Friday and holding above the 5 EMA, holding above the 10. If we go ahead and look at it on the weekly, we've just kind of been in this, push up for the weeks here, and up here at 2256 on the SPY. We'll go back to the daily here, but there are a few little things that we need to look at, and one of them being is the IYT, and not a very good candle on Friday, but we are still holding above this 10 SMA on the IYT, but this kind of, not a bearish candle, but just we hit the top here at around go ahead and give you the high there was 181.57. We'll call it 182, and then we kind of backed off of that and down to 178.76. So that was down 1% on Friday. If we look at it on a weekly chart, kind of a indecisive candle here. And as we pop through those highs and then we pulled back, we got this reversal. So we're gonna have to watch this 177 area, and we're gonna have to watch the lows here and the 10 SMA on the IYT, which is 178.70 for the 10 SMA, and the low is 178.64. All right, so let's keep an eye on that for the IYT. Some other chinks in the armor, I guess, would be the IWC, the microcap ETF fund. And we got a close here below the 10 SMA. We have the 5 EMA crossing over the 10 SMA, and we have a close below this 10 SMA for the first time, in a while here. So that's another kind of chink in the armor. And then lastly, we have this IWM, and that also closed below the 10 SMA. Have been riding it. We closed a little bit below it here, and then now we've closed below it again. So, you could kind of see it like a rounding top here in the IWM. If we go ahead and look at the NASDAQ composite, that's moving up to new highs here, holding the 5 EMA. So a few, mixed signals here a little bit on the NASDAQ, and then when you look at the IWM. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that, the IYT, the IWM, and as I said, the NASDAQ, the Qs were moving up on Friday. They closed up fraction, but they were still up, and I guess for the week they were up about 0.5% for the week. If we go ahead and look at the Dow Jones 30, that was grinding up about 0.5% for that, and on Friday was up 30 points for Friday and holding this 5 EMA. We'll go ahead and look at the utilities, which didn't fare as well. Kind of an engulfing candle here. We came down to the 50 SMA on this the Dow Jones utilities. If we look at it for the week, though, they were up almost 1% for the week on the utilities. But Friday, some money was taken off the table here. If we look at it at the on the XLU, you see it was down about 38 cents, down almost 1% for Friday on the utilities. And for the week, though, they were up 1.35%. So a little bit of a reversal there in the utilities. So we're gonna have to see what that all means for next week. As far as some of the metals, we'll look at silver here, starting to maybe break out over this trend line here, this resistance trend line, and maybe trying to break up over that 1650 spot. But it's funny, even with silver moving up for the day on Friday, and on the weekly, setting up, and for the week it was up almost 4%. We had names like PAAS, and that was down on Friday. So Pan American Silver down, and for the week they were down about 2% on Pan American Silver. The other one is SRM, and for the week that was down 7% for the week. So a couple of silver names, even with silver moving up, and you see this daily chart here of SSRM down 8% for the day on Friday, and that was, like I said, with silver moving up. So, we're gonna have to keep an eye on that with silver. So the stocks are not reacting. And then here's GLD for the day, was up almost 1% for the day. For the week, it was up over 2% for the week on gold, GLD. But then we go ahead and look at some of the stocks and how they reacted. And let's see, Barrick Gold down Friday. GG was up about almost 1% on Friday. So that one fared okay on GG. And then we have NEM. And that one was up for the week, for the day, about 0.5%. For the week on NEM, we were down, up about 1.1%. The other one that was moving this week was NAK. That was down Friday, 2.30%. For the week, though, it was up almost 10% for the week on NAK, one of those gold names. So the silver stock's not faring as well, but some of the gold stocks did finally reverse. Here's another gold stock, though, that was down for the day on Friday, and for the week, we'll take a look at IAG. It was up, just a fraction for the week. So, big move in gold. Like I said, for the week, up, 2%. And some of the stocks was like a mixture in some of the gold stocks, all right? If we take a look at Nuget, NUGT, for the day on Friday was up 1.1%. For the week, it was up 2.80% on Nuget. Dust, which is the ETF, and this is the bear for gold. And for the day, that was down 1.41%. And for the week, it was down 4% for the week on DUST. JNUG, take a look at that on the daily chart. Friday, it was down 0.5%. And for the week, it was down, just a fraction for the week on JNUG. All right, so that's a little look at some of the gold stocks. If we go ahead and get into the SMH, just powering up here, riding this 5 EMA, very strong. If we look at it for the week, we're up over 2% for the week on the SMH. Oil for the week, we were up 4% for the week on oil. USO is the ETF there. And for the day on Friday, we were up 1.37%. If we go ahead and take a look at oil itself, WTI, crude oil, we're back over that 50 spot. We're back over the 10. We're holding above the 20 on the daily. If we look at it on the weekly chart, we're getting close to that, 53 area where it's having trouble breaking out. But, keep an eye on that 53 area for oil. All right. So if we look at it on the daily, you can see the resistance here at 53, but maybe it might be setting up to try to break that again on oil. Some other things we should look at are the OIH. That was up 0.44% on Friday. And for the week, though, it was down 1.38% on the OIH. Some names include Schlumberger, Halliburton, and also RIG. All right, and RIG for the week was up, for the day on Friday was up over 3% for Friday, and for the week it was up 5% for the week on RIG. So, big moves in RIG, but the other two, Halliburton and SLB, they didn't really perform that well for this week, and they are in the OIH. UNG, we'll take a look at that. Didn't do much Friday. For the week, though, it was up 4% in UNG, but you see it has a lot of work to do on nat gas there. Jets, the airline ETF, for the day was up about 0.35%. For the week, Jets was up 1.51%, so almost 2% on the airline ETF. Copper, take a quick look at copper, was up about 4% for the week, and for the day on Friday, up fractionally for the day on copper, but for the week, like I said, it was up 4%. And let's take a look at some of the home builders, the XHB. the Home Builders ETF. This is still holding above the 10 SMA on the daily chart. If we look at it on the weekly chart, we broke out of this resistance here at 40, pushed up, and some of the names have made some very big moves. KBH has just been incredible. We finally got a red candle here in KBH after this huge run up. Well, we had one back here, but after this huge run up, we finally got a red candle. But as you can see, we're still holding above the 5 EMA after this kind of parabolic, straight up move here on KBH. Toll Brothers, has been very strong, now pulling back to about the 10 SMA. Lennar on the daily chart, trying to break out over that 57, hasn't been able to do it. Pulling back a little bit, holding the 10 SMA on Lennar. Beazer Homes, this one popped nicely after their earnings. Nice push up. A little bit of resistance here at the 20 level. Trying to hang on to the 10 SMA here on Beazer Homes. So the home builders have been very strong. So, we'll see if they're going to pull back and consolidate a little bit. The social media ETF. Nice pop for the day on Friday, up 0.62%. And if we look at it for the week, it was up 1.40% for the week on SOCL. Robo, the automation index, just keeps climbing higher. For the week, up over 2%. For the day on Friday, up 0.76%. And, just chugging along, making out new highs. We do have that 40 number coming up here on Robo. So keep your eye on that. See, what else did I want to look at with you? Hack, the cybersecurity ETF, down about 2% for the week, and fractionally down on Friday. And as you can see, after this big move down, we've had quite a few candles red in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit of bounce here at the 20 SMA. So we'll see if they want to turn this back up or not. Hack, let's see, FireEye had a big run, pulling back a little bit. CUDA was the one that just had earnings, and that took a big hit. And for the week, CUDA was down over 13%. CUDA, Barracuda Networks. If we go ahead and look at Palo Alto Networks, PANW, this one holding up, still holding above the 5. For the week, for the day on Friday, that was up 1%, and for the week, that was up almost 2% for the week. And next one is FTNT. That stock was up on Friday, up over almost 1.5% for Friday, and then for the week, up fractionally. But keep your eye on this one. It might be setting up for a possible breakout out of this congestion here. And then the other one is Cyber. And this one, not faring as well right now on the daily chart. That was up maybe almost 1%. But if you look at the weekly chart, it's been very weak, and trying to hold this 40 spot back up here at 42. But as far as the daily goes, not a really nice setup right now on Cyber. Some other sectors we could take a look at. We'll look at the XLF real fast. XLF, Friday was up a little bit fractionally. For the week, though, it was down almost 1% for the week. But you see the big run that it's had, and we're still above the 10 SMA on the weekly chart on XLF. We did pop up to that about 2650 area, and we're pulling back slightly from that and holding above the 20 SMA right now. We had some buyers come in around that 20 SMA, and that's such names as JP Morgan. They just reported earnings last week, and you see the stock pulling back a little bit here. Citigroup, they reported earnings and didn't fare as well, and they brought the stock right back down. Bank America also reported last week. This one popped. So this one was up 1.49% on Friday. Their earnings came out on Friday, and then they had their conference call. But for the week, it was down 1.45%. The other one is Wells Fargo that reported Friday. And we had a gap down in Wells Fargo. And then the other one that reported was Friday was PNC Bank. And you see kind of this sell-off candle here on that name, down 1% on Friday on PNC. If we look at it on the weekly, though, it's still holding above the 10, the rising 20. So still strong on the weekly, but did have a hit from earnings on Friday. So we're going to have to see how the banks are going to do on, for the remainder of the year going into December. The Fed is supposed to raise rates in December. They keep saying that they're still on target to raise those rates in December. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the dollar index right now. This is the daily chart, and as you can see, we're still below the 10 SMA on the daily. On the weekly, we are above the 10 SMA, trying to get through this 20 SMA, that 94 level on the dollar. If you want to look at the ETF, that's the UUP, and that's still stuck below the 20 SMA on the weekly. For the day, though, the dollar was flat on Friday. But for the week, it was down a little, almost 1% for the week on UUP. Next up, we will take a look at, we'll go ahead and take a look at the steel ETF, SLX. And that had a big pop on Friday, up almost 4% for the day on Friday. And I'll show you some of those steel stocks. And we had the for the week, we were up almost 3% in the steel sector, the SLX. And lastly, if we go ahead and look at the VIX, the VIX for the week, down about 0.5%. So really still complacency out there. As you see here on the daily chart, Friday we were down over 3% on Friday for the VIX. And we're still stuck in this kind of this complacent channel, in the VIX, and not much action either way. And that's with, the news from Korea, Donald Trump's taxes, and also, the NAFTA talks also. So can't get any movement out of the markets. Here's Trump negotiating on the NAFTA. So, Trump's tough talk on NAFTA raises prospects of PAC's demise. And we also have, Donald Trump's tax plan benefits the wealthy, including Trump. So anyway, no matter how you look at it, the tax plan, this is something that the Republicans and Congress, they wanted to get through. So now are they going to be able to get this through? So everybody's kind of watching that. That's one of the top stories we need to keep an eye on. And also, North Korea is still on the front burner here, preparing to launch another ballistic missile. So we'll see, what's going to happen. But these are the kind of the stories that are on the front burner. But as you can see, with the VIX, we're not really making any, progress to the upside at all. Still very complacent. And the SPY, like we said, just moving up and grinding up to new all-time highs. But there are a few chinks in the armor, so we'll just have to keep an eye on those. And once again, it's the IWM, the IWC, and the IYT, some, closes under the 10 and kind of this sell-off candle in the IYT. All right, we're going to go through some of the best stocks and worst stocks for the week. We'll go ahead and go through the worst stocks. We'll get them out of the way, and we'll go to our weekly chart here. So retail's still struggling here a little bit. JCPenney's down about 8% for the week. SHLD down about 5% for the week on Sears Holding. Some of the 3D printers were down, and DDD down 11%. Looks like Hewlett Packard's coming back into that market. Not that they totally left, but looks like they're going to push forward in the 3D printing sector. SSYS, also another 3D printing stock, was down about 9% for the week. Juniper, which warned, that's down about 9% for the week on Juniper. And then names like WBA, that was down about 8% for the week, and CVS was down 6% for the week, and Fred was down 17% for the week, and Rite Aid was also down about 11% for the week. And this is because Amazon is going to start coming into the prescription business, and so are these stocks going to be Amazon? So WBA and CVS all took a hit on the fear that Amazon is starting to come into their sector. So keep an eye on that for more weakness there on those names. Next up, another sporting goods store, DKS. This was down 10% for the week. BBBY, another retailer, down 7% for the week. ESRX down 8% for the week on that name. MELI also now, Amazon hitting this stock, saying that they want to get into, I guess this is Brazil. And so MELI was down for the week 9% for the week on MELI. So are they going to get Amazoned also? Ulta, another one hit and affected by Amazon, down 10% for the week. AAOI was down 19% for the week on that name. And then good old Twinkies was even down 14% for the week on Hostess Brands. CUDA, as we mentioned earlier, was down 14% for their week, and that was after their earnings. GLYC pulled back 14% on GLYC. ONVO down 24% for the week. Vox, after their earnings, down 20% for the week, 21% for the week. ACRX minus 58% for the week on ACRX. And in this name, ACRX, let me bring up the news story. Shares closed down close to 60% Thursday following the issuance of their CRL from the FDA for its new drug for the treatment of post-operative pain. The FDA noted that additional data on at least 50 patients would be required. So they got their CRL letter, and the stock dropped 58% for the week on ACRX. The other one was ATRS, and this stock was down 40% for the week on ATRS. And that one following the announcement after hours Thursday that the FDA had identified deficiencies in its NDA testosterone and injection. All right, and they set the PDUFA date for October 20th. Still stands. However, given the circumstances, it is almost without doubt the company will be issued a CRL, and this stock dropped like a rock on Thursday after hours. Next up, we'll take a look at some of the best stocks for the week, and we'll start with the steel stocks. And SCHN was up 9%. Schnitzer Steel, that was up 9% for the week on that name. X was up 5% for the week. AKS up 4% for the week. MT up also 10% for the week. So the steel names, as I showed you with the SLX, had a very good week. WMT, Walmart up 10% for the week. This is the one that's being chosen as the one that's going to compete with Amazon. But I noticed JD, which Walmart owns a percentage of, didn't fare so well, or hasn't been faring so well, as you can see on the daily chart here. And for the week, that was down another 1.33% for the week on JD. Next, we'll take a look at Target, and that was up 7% for the week. Advanced Micro Devices was up 7% for the week, and with Bitcoin running up, Advanced Micro Devices is attached because of their mining, I guess, circuitry or processors. So AMD, nice move this week, up over 7% for the week on AMD. Twitter had a nice week, up 4% for the week on Twitter. Snap coming in with a nice 12% gain for the week on Snapchat. Let's take a look at it on the daily real fast. If we look at it on the daily, we're back above all the moving averages. We broke out from this 50 SMA on Snap. So nice job there by Snap for this week. Next up, we'll take a look at RH Restoration Hardware, and that one popping 5% for the week. BBRY, BlackBerry, strong this week, needs to break out over this 1175 spot on BlackBerry, and it could really get going. But this stock was up 5% for the week on BlackBerry. HPQ, which we mentioned was going to start pushing into the 3Ds, this stock was up almost 6% for the week. ITUS had a very nice week, up 15% for the week. LBIX had a nice pop this week, up 167% for the week. We played that a few times. AMBA was up for the week, 10% on AMBA, but let's see, we had CASI, which was up 45% for the week on CASI, CASI. ANAB, up 95% for the week, and on this stock, ANAB, the shares soared and closed the week up 95% following the release of positive data from its phase 2 trial. All right, in adult patients with moderate to severe atopic dermatitis. All right, so ANAB, nice pop here, up 95% for the week on that name. So very nice move in ANAB. NVIDIA keeps powering up. Up another 7% this week on NVIDIA. HMNY up 30% for the week on HMNY. It did give back some of its gains as it got up to 40, but this stock has come from about $2 all the way up to, let's see what the high was for the week, $38.85. So a very nice move there, but it did give back some on the last couple of days. But for the week, this stock was up 30%. Next up, we have ROKA, ROKA, and that was up 140% for the week. SRNE was up 83% for the week on SRNE, biotech name. INFI up 82% for the week. GLUU up 15% for the week. And lastly, CCCR up 18% for the week. AERI was up 16% for the week on AERI, and they announced that the FDA Advisory Committee voted in support of approval for treatment of glaucoma. So that stock, nice pop, up 17% for the week, 16% for the week. And lastly, ARDX. This stock was up 29% for the week on ARDX. They closed up the week and following promising data from its phase 3. All right, so this had promising data in its phase 3 on ARDX. So those are some of your best stocks for the week. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of your top gainers for Friday, and this is courtesy of the Trade Exchange. NETE was up on Friday. MARK also up on Friday. PZRX, top gainer. TOPS, TOPS. SOHU, TRVN, ZN, MT, SMI, BG, MTFB, all top gainers. For your top losers, we mentioned ATRS, TNDM, CASI, RN, INFI, AAOI, SIFY, Del Frisco's, they had earnings on Friday. DFRG, Twinkies, as we mentioned, ITEK, PCG, and KTOV were your top losers for the trading day on Friday. If we go ahead and look at the options activity for Friday from Trade Exchange, we had Brew with call activity, unusual call activity in BTU, CL, Colgate-Palmolive, and DHI, all unusual call activity. To the put side, unusual put activity, JCPenney's and NAC, that little gold stock that I showed you, and also CZR, also with put activity. All right, let's go ahead and check out our earnings coming up, and as you can see, it's going to start getting very hot and heavy now. For Monday, we're going to have Netflix, After the Bell. We're going to have Sonic Restaurants. So this is the big one, Netflix on Monday. That's the one that stands out the most for Monday. After the Bell and Sonic, KMG. What else do we have? BRO, Bro, ELS. So those are some of the names for After the Bell on Monday, the 16th of October. And then we go into Tuesday before the open, and we have Goldman Sachs reporting. What else do we have? BCLI, CMA, CSX before the bell on Tuesday. Let's see, UNH will be reporting. And on Tuesday after the close, we have IBM. Okay, IBM and LCRX, which is LRCX, excuse me, LRCX. We also have Cree reporting earnings on Tuesday after the bell, and then Canadian Pacific, which is a railroad, symbol CP there for Canadian Pacific. Then we go into Wednesday before the bell, Abbott Labs, ABT, ASML, NTRS, SVU, and USB, another bank, reporting earnings before the bell on Wednesday. After the bell really gets into a lot. We have Alcoa reporting, American Express. Some other big names are eBay reporting earnings that day, EXPO, KALU, STLD, which is a steel name, is reporting earnings that day, and VMI, and also SLG, Steel Dynamics, SLG. So you see all those companies reporting Wednesday, not to mention UAL, United Airlines, and then URI, United Rentals. So we have United Airlines and United Rentals, and that's for Wednesday. Then Thursday, before the bell, we get Verizon. We also have some other names reporting that day. We have Nucor, KeyBank. Let's see if there's any other big names reporting. Verizon we mentioned. Winnebago, WGO before the bell that day. After the bell, we have PayPal, Skechers, E-Trade, Proofpoint, and I think that's is that Hawaiian Airlines? Let me just check. Yeah, Hawaiian Holdings, HA. All right, so Hawaiian Holdings. Then Friday before the bell, we get General Electric. On Friday, we get Honeywell, KSU, which is a railroad, Schlumberger reporting earnings on Friday before the bell. So big day for Schlumberger, Friday before the bell. Cleveland Cliffs, CLF, will be reporting earnings on Friday before the open. So a lot of big names, and like I said, a lot of earnings coming out for this week, October 16th through October 20th, and that's courtesy of Earnings Whisper. And then we go ahead and get right into the economic for the week. Monday, we have the Empire State, nothing major. Fed speak, 9 p.m., excuse me. Then on Tuesday, let's see, we have import, export prices, housing market index, the API at 4:30. For Wednesday, the 18th, we have Fed speak at 8 o'clock, MBA mortgage applications, 10:30, oil on Wednesday, and then for Thursday, just some basic economic stuff, nothing market moving really. And then Friday, we have Janet Yellen speaking at 8 a.m. Janet Yellen, that's big for Friday. All right, we'll see what she wants to say for Friday. And we also have the Baker Hughes. So mark on your calendar that Janet Yellen will be speaking on Friday at 8 a.m. Okay, so that's your calendar, and that's some of your earnings coming out. So a very big week, for the earnings, and this Janet Yellen on Friday. And that's pretty much it for the week ahead. I mean, it's very busy with the earnings and whatnot. All right, folks, so we'll keep this one a little bit on the short side. You're more ready for the week ahead than you were before for the week of October 16th through the week of October 20th. Good luck with your trading, and you're more prepared than you were before. All right, have a great week ahead. Don't forget, I'll be doing the stocks to watch video tomorrow, Sunday, and we'll see what we can find for some movers for Monday or Tuesday or the week ahead. All right, everybody, have a very nice weekend, and don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the station channel, and thank you for your viewership.